All right. Got some big updates for you on CNN that we wanted to get to. First of all, we got some more details about how it all went down between Cuomo and Zucker, because these two were thick as thieves. They were best buddies during the pandemic. They were going for multi-hour-long walks together in Central Park. So how did this all come apart to the point of Cuomo ultimately getting fired? Let's throw this New York Times tear sheet up on the screen. They brought in everybody. They even brought Ben Smith back for reporting on this. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did actually see it on the byline.
This was a team effort here to get to the bottom of this one. The long and short, this says how a secret assault allegation against an anchor, that would be Cuomo, upended CNN and Jeff Zucker. The network's top-rated host and its president were forced out following ethical lapses, an office romance, and a letter from a lawyer for Jane Doe. So long and short of what is a very lengthy article is it looked like Zucker really wanted, even after, things continue to come out about Cuomo and his abuse of power, and then Letitia James's investigation reveals how he's advising his brother in ways that had never been made public, and maybe or maybe not Zucker knew about, we don't know at this point. Zucker really wanted to let him off with a suspension and bring him back. And I don't know if you remember this, I'd kind of forgotten this, but Brian Stelter had even reported, we think Cuomo's going to be back in January.
I do remember that. That's right.
Yeah, because that's kind of what we thought. Oh, they're gonna tube in this. They're gonna wait for the frenzy to die down, and then they're gonna bring him back. But then they actually fired him. So we're like, what the hell? I can't believe they actually did it. Well, what happened is immediately after Zucker brings in Cuomo and says, hey, we're going to suspend you, but, wink and a nod, you're probably going to come back. They get a letter at CNN. It's from a lawyer representing a woman who had worked with Cuomo at ABC News years earlier. And she alleged that he had sexually assaulted her. And the story goes, according to her, that in 2011, when she, was only referred to as Jane Doe, was a temporary employee, a young temporary employee at ABC. She was hoping for a full-time job. Cuomo offers her career advice, invites her to lunch in his office. She shows up. There's no food there. Little red flag right there. And then Cuomo badgers her for sex. And after she declined, allegedly, according to her, he denies it, he assaulted her and she ran out of the room. Jeez. And somehow what makes this even so much worse is years later, when it's coming out about Matt Lauer and Charlie Rose and all of these anchors, longtime institutions, are being brought low by their own MeToo scandals. Well, she hadn't heard from Chris Cuomo in quite a while. He reaches back out to her and says, hey, why don't we do a nice piece for you on CNN about the company you work for now? Basically trying to smooth the waters over so that she wouldn't come out of the woodwork and Me Too him as well and destroy his career. So apparently when this letter arrives, and with she's being represented by a well-known attorney, and they say, hey, we've got contemporaneous evidence, and she told multiple people at the time. Apparently, this was the final straw where, based on everything that had been revealed in the investigation from Letitia James, and the sense that Cuomo hadn't been upfront with executives about what exactly was going on, and then this comes out, and they finally said, all right, we're pulling the plug here. So that's the Cuomo piece. But we also got some additional news about what was going on with Zucker and Gollust. And this first piece actually also comes from the Times. Sure, the office romance, okay, that's a part of it. But really what was going on is, quote, CNN had skidded into third place in cable news ratings. A key investor, something we talked about here a lot, had criticized the network's opinionated, personality-driven programming. Zucker had clashed with the top executive, that's Jason Kyler, who ultimately pulls the plug on him at CNN's parent company, and he had made powerful enemies now out of Cuomo and his brother because he fired them. So it's that internal power struggle that ultimately put Zucker's career into jeopardy. And then, let's put this next piece up on the screen. Then we find out that their own internal investigation into what was going on with Cuomo and the advice he was giving with his brother also uncovers wrongdoing, not only by Chris Cuomo, but by Allison Gollust and Jeff Zucker. Allison being, of course, Zucker's mistress. So it turns out while they were trying to, just push this off all on Chris Cuomo, they were also involved in practices that they said did not meet CNN's journalistic standards. So Alison Gollust has now also resigned. In a statement, she said, Warner Media's statement tonight is an attempt to retaliate against me and change the media narrative in the wake of their disastrous handling of the last 2 weeks. It is deeply disappointing that after spending the past 9 years defending and upholding CNN's highest standards of journalistic integrity, I would be treated this way as I leave. So that's the last piece here. They didn't give any details about what exactly Zucker was doing, what exactly Gollust was doing. Part of the leaks to the press was that they were directly advising Governor Cuomo on his COVID briefings, giving him talking points to push back against Trump. That's part of, the leaks that have come out in the media. There's no specifics here about what the probe found, but the bottom line is the same dirty business that Chris Cuomo was engaged in, these two appear to have been as well.
I gotta ask you, Krystal, because you're the only one who works at a major network. Do you have to be like a complete sociopath
pretty much, yeah.
to succeed? I don't get it. I'm like, like cornering a woman at work, pestering her and assaulting her at work, and then trying to use your platform in a blatant cover-up, and then your boss has a mistress who's his number 2, and they're all engaged in this like political cabal. Yes, I said it. Cabal in which they're defending each other.
And throw Roger Ailes into that as well.
That's what I mean. It's bipartisan. I don't understand. I'm like, do you truly have to be just like bottom of the barrel scum in order to succeed? Well, I don't get it.
And a lot of these guys came up. I mean, this truly was the culture among these men in media. This was part of what, they thought this was fine, that this behavior, which was longstanding, routine within these media organizations, they just thought this is, it's utterly disgusting. But these are people who oftentimes are drawn to careers in media because they're total narcissists and egomaniacs who think the rules do not apply to them. They get, high on their own supply. They think they're God's gift. They think that they can get away with anything. The rules don't apply to them. And oftentimes, for many years, they were right.
Yeah.
So, how many years was Lauer cornering women and sleeping with interns and open secret? People knew what a sleazeball this guy was.
And getting paid like $20 million a year.
Yeah, people knew that he was a total, a sleazeball, and it never impacted him. He was fine. Cuomo, it sounds very much like the similar behavior that his brother engaged in as governor, at least what was alleged. Again, they all deny all of this. But at this point with Chris Cuomo, you'll recall there was also that piece that was published in the New York Times of another woman who made allegations about him, and that he sent that email.
Oh, he sent her that email being
apologizing.
Like, I'm sorry for playing grab ass with your boss.
With your boss at a party when her husband was there.
So it was like 5 p.m. It's not like it was like 1
in the morning.
Yeah, it's like not a frat basement here.
So, when he's caught engaged in that kind of brazen behavior, it's not a surprise that there would be other shoes to drop here.
Yeah, look, I don't even know what to say. It's stunning to me. And the most stunning part is that the talent at CNN, remember this. They are outraged that Jeff Zucker was fired.
Yeah.
That's what they're upset about. They're not upset at Chris Cuomo. They are not upset at their own boss having a mistress as his number 2, and then the two of them engaging in powerful defense of a Democratic official and tarnishing the news brand and the value of their product. They are upset that their corrupt boss was fired.
Yeah.
Because he protected them.
I think they actually are upset about Chris Cuomo because he's apparently a total asshole that everyone hated.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But they are very upset. They are very upset about Zucker. Not that he was also a sleazeball compromising all of their journalistic integrity, but that he got fired. Yeah. That's the thing they're having literal mental breakdowns over.
That is what, quote unquote, the most trusted name in news, people. That's what they're mad about.
Amazing.
Always remember that.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut. Our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions. All that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.